Hey, this is SJ. Um, these young ladies was on TikTok talking about if they don't, they better get I better get my food stamps. I don't know who it was, but they was on TikTok saying I better get my food stamps in November or I'm about to go steal. They said that they better get their food stamps in November or they're gonna go in the stores and they're gonna steal the food. That's what they were saying on TikTok. I don't know how many of them was, but unfortunately it was black women. When are these black women are going to learn that when y'all say stuff and do stuff, you're making us all look bad because we get judged as a collective. They don't care. Anywho, my thought was, I'm like, because there was some content creators that was talking about that, and my thought was, okay, why are they coming on social media saying this on social media? It seemed like to me, if I had that mindset, which I don't, because I donate plasma before I go in the store and just steal something. But my thought was, okay, even if I had that mindset that if I don't get my stamps, which I'm not going to be missing no $32 because that's literally how much that's really, literally, that's all I get is $32. As far as I'm concerned, they can keep that little funky $32. I'll make it do what it do. You know what I mean? Anywho, I am not gonna be hurting over the little funky $32. But anywho, even if I even if I had that mindset, I'm not gonna come on social media and broadcast it to the whole entire world that if I don't get my stamps, I'm about to go in the store and steal. Even if I had that mindset, I'm not finna come on social media and broadcast it. To me, that's stupid. You know, people need to learn to move in silence. People need to learn to move in silence. And I thought, people need to learn to move in silence. Like, Peach McIntyre coming on here, and she just comes to mind because the last couple of days I've been seeing her go flashing money all on the. I seen a short of her going into the bank and withdrawing $10,000, and she on here flashing. She's showing them counting the machine counting the money out, and she on here flashing money. I said, does she realize that she can get robbed doing that? Does she realize that's a good way to get robbed doing that? You're letting the world know, ooh, this is how much money I have. That is a bad idea for anybody to do that. It's a bad idea for anybody. Because my son was doing that one time. And I was like, man, I said, stop doing that. Stop flashing money on social media. Stop doing it. It's dangerous. I said, because you mess around and set yourself up to get robbed. Especially in the black community. I mean, even if you don't live in the black community, still, I mean, you set yourself up to get robbed. You set yourself up to get ganked. You know what I mean? I would be scared to do something like that. I literally would be scared to come on social media and flash money. Because I don't know, you don't know who's watching you. You know, you don't know if somebody live, even though I don't reveal my location, you know, it could be somebody that might know me, still know me, and see that. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't come on here and be flashing. People need to learn to move in silence. Learn to move in silence. That's what people need to learn to do. People need to learn. Can y'all see me? Because it's getting a little dark. People need to learn to move in silence. You don't need to come on social media and flash all what you got. Now, I know some people do house tours and things like that. Well, it's different with a house tour because, it's a little different with a house tour, and things like that. But, just but come on here flashing money and then telling folks what you gonna do and like some people telling threatening. I think one lady threatened I think she threatened the president. If I'm not, don't quote me, but I think somebody says beating up somebody. You can't do that. It's a guy that got arrested for threatening the president. This guy got drunk. I kid you not. Just heard about it on the news the other day. This guy got drunk and he typed a bunch of threatening stuff to the president and they arrested him. Oh, they came and got him. You can't do that. People need to wash their mouth on social media. You can't come on social media and be saying all that stuff. You can't, people going too far. I get it that people are panicking, but people need to learn to rely on God more. People are panicking and stuff like that because they're afraid they won't get their stamps. They say Michigan gonna get theirs. I don't know. But people need to learn to move in silence. It's like, even if you thinking about doing something like that, don't come on social media and broadcast it. Don't come on social media and come on now. Pray and ask God, and you gotta make a way. You ain't got to go stealing nothing. And then you got your face. Your face is on social media while you saying that. So when you go in the store, they got she said that she and then they can go, you get arrested, and then they can go back to your video where there was people that had committed crimes, and they can go back to their social media accounts and stuff like that. And see that they said different things. Just like that guy, that rapper, where they found that baby. I call her a baby because she wasn't none but 17, 18 years old. They found that baby in his trunk. And he tried to say it wasn't him, but they found her in his car. Well, they looked at back to his social medias, and they look, and then I don't even know who the rapper is because I don't keep up with these young rappers. And then they looked at his music lyrics and stuff, and he was talking about doing just that. So people gotta watch your mouth. Watch what you putting out here. You can't just put everything on social media. People gotta learn to move in silence. You can't just put everything, quit coming on here flashing money and bragging and stuff like that. And people coming on here flashing different things. And you mess around and get yourself robbed. Peach McIntyre came on here and flashed $10,000. Ain't she scared to do something like that? Because she's pretty well known. And I know people in that town where she lived, that she's out of Tampa, know that she do, come on. It's like that guy in Detroit. This guy in Detroit, this really big YouTuber gave this guy, pretended like he was homeless, and this elderly black gentleman helped him. And he gave the man a large amount of money. I can't remember how much it was, and I think he bought him a car and stuff like that. And he gave him so much money. I think it was $100,000. He gave him so much money, it literally changed the man's life. And he posted a video showing what he did. First of all, when you give, the Bible say when you give, you don't blow a trumpet. When you give, you're not supposed to talk about it. So he was wrong, but he's a big content creator, so quite naturally he's gonna post the video talking about it. Okay, well, he put that on YouTube, and then his own family, don't quote me, but I believe it was his own family members, I believe it was, but don't Allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly because I don't know 100% for sure. Allegedly, his own family members robbed him and burn up the car. The car, I think it was an SUV or something like that, and left him for dead. Thank God the brother survived it. Thank God he survived it. Thank God he lived to talk about it. But that's what they did. And I don't know if they took his money, that poor man, because that money that they gave him was life changing. But what they did was, and I think the news talked about it, and they shouldn't have did that. They broadcasted it, and the guy that did the video, because he was a big YouTuber, had broadcasted it. You know, of course, quite naturally, he's gonna put it on his channel, and it messed around and set that man up to get robbed. So, and that man, that content creator, knew that he lived in Detroit, and he knew that he lived in the poor community. He shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have done that. He should have just did that off rip and behind the scenes and just left it at like that. Left it at that. He should have never ever put that on YouTube. And so he set that man up to get robbed. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta be careful what you're putting out here. You gotta be careful. Learn to move in silence. I move in silence. I don't put all my business out there. I don't put all my business on social media. And that's what I'm saying. People need to learn to move in silence. Coming on here broadcasting stuff, flashing money and all that. People don't, everything is not for social media. People don't need to be knowing all that stuff. And especially talking about you coming on social media talking about you about to commit a crime. How stupid is that? Anywho, I just wanted to, talk about that real quick. All right. Hit that comment, like, and share, and I'll see you guys later. Be blessed.